What if I told you that one of the absolute most powerful tools for healing and strengthening your voice involves nothing more than a tube and a glass of water? I know, it looks a little strange, but the science behind this is completely changing how we think about vocal health.
So in this explainer, we're going to start with a problem we all know, vocal strain. Then we'll get into the surprising water solution, break down the science of how it all works, look at some incredible results, see how the whole thing evolved, and wrap up with what it really means to have an efficient voice.
All right, let's jump right in with a feeling I think we can all relate to. You know that super frustrating moment when your voice just gives up on you? I mean, whether you're a teacher, a singer, or you're just trying to make a point in a noisy room, we have all been there. It's that universal experience of pushing your voice and then nothing. It just fails. And this is not some niche problem, right? It affects teachers at the end of a long day, singers who are pushing for that one high note, speakers who struggle to project. And on a more clinical level, it's a daily battle for people who stutter. It's a fundamental challenge for pretty much anyone who has to rely on their voice.
So, what's the fix? Well, it's not some complex machine or a fancy medication. It's bubbles. Yeah, it might look a little weird, but believe me, the results are truly remarkable.
So this is the Lax Vox technique in a nutshell. You just take a simple silicone tube, put one end in your mouth, the other in a little bit of water, and you make sound. That's it. You're basically blowing resonant, voiced bubbles. But how in the world does this actually help your voice?
Okay, let's get into the science, because this is where a really simple action reveals some pretty profound stuff. This isn't just about making bubbles. It's about fundamentally changing the physics of how your voice works.
The key concept here is something called vocal tract inertance. Now, don't let the term scare you. Just think of it like this. When you make sound through the tube into the water, you create this gentle back pressure. That pressure travels all the way back up and creates a supportive little cushion of air right at your vocal folds. This lets them vibrate with incredible ease, using way less effort.
So there are really three main things happening here. First, that tube, it actually makes your vocal tract artificially longer, which lowers the effort you need to make sound. Second, there's that positive back pressure we just talked about, which is like a gentle massage for your vocal folds. And third, the whole process naturally helps your larynx, your voice box, to just relax into a lower position, which creates way more space for a rich, resonant sound. And just look at the difference this makes. On the left, you've got what so many of us do. High-effort, strained phonation, where our vocal folds are basically just slamming into each other. That leads to fatigue and even injury. But over on the right, with Lax Vox, you get what's called flow phonation. The muscles are relaxed, the vocal folds vibrate easily, and you get more power with way less effort.
So that's the theory. But what about the proof? Let's see how this actually translates into some truly life-changing results. We'll start with a clinical study that is just staggering.
The impact here is just incredible. In one study on school-age kids with persistent stuttering, a full 50% achieved completely normal fluency in just 8 weeks. We're not talking about a little improvement here. We're talking about a total resolution of their symptoms for half the kids in the study.
And here's the data. You can actually see participants who started out with moderate, severe, even very severe stuttering, and after the therapy, they achieved normal fluency or had it drop way down to very mild. This isn't a small gain. For these kids, it's a profound, life-altering change.
And the benefits go way beyond the clinic. For performers, singers, actors, this technique is a total game changer. I mean, as you can see, it's used for everything from warming up and cooling down to blending vocal registers seamlessly. It relaxes all those unnecessary muscles, and it helps you develop this incredibly fine control. So fine, in fact, that it can help with advanced techniques like messa di voce. That's where you change your volume on a single note without changing the pitch at all. So with all this incredible success, it was only a matter of time before this simple idea evolved into something even more comprehensive. And that's where the TMRG Voice Therapy technique comes in. TMRG Voice Therapy, or TVT, takes the core principles of Lax Vox and builds them into a complete system. So it's not just a single exercise anymore. It's this integrated approach that combines medical knowledge with voice training and physics.
And it works by following the classic steps of motor learning. First, you get the what and the why. Then, in the associative phase, you practice how to do it, really building that new skill. And finally, in the autonomous phase, that new, healthy way of using your voice becomes second nature. It becomes an automatic, effortless habit.
Now, a key part of this whole system is that it's highly personalized. A clinician creates a totally unique plan for every single patient. And to make it even more effective, it uses these specialized devices like the Dr. Vox and the TMRG Pocket Vox. These give you enhanced biofeedback, so you can literally see, hear, and feel that you're doing the exercises correctly, which just speeds up the whole learning process.
So what is all this leading to? What's the end game? Well, it brings us to the ultimate goal, not just for this therapy, but really for anyone who uses their voice, achieving maximum vocal economy.
Vocal economy is basically the holy grail of voice use. It means you're getting the biggest, richest, most resonant sound possible with the absolute least amount of physical strain. It's the formula for a powerful, healthy, and sustainable voice that isn't going to let you down.
But you know, in the end, this goes beyond just the mechanics of making sound. As this quote puts it so well, when you learn to manage your voice, it has this ripple effect. It brings a new level of confidence and ease to how you interact with the world and with the people around you. And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. This simple technique of blowing bubbles into water unlocks a whole new level of vocal freedom. So the real question is, what would that freedom mean for you?
What could you achieve or create or express with a voice that is truly and effortlessly your own? Check TMRG Voice Therapy on tmrgsolutions.com for more information.